Warning, the following is entirely satirical and should not be taken as truth or fact. Styles Rebel Radio and the Rebel Podcast do not own any copyrighted material that may be included in this broadcast. Viewer discretion is advised.
That's mail fraud.
Suspend the show right now.
You're gonna zipline directly into the harpoon?
Yeah. What do you know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's gonna suck.
Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
Welcome to the Rebel Radio Show. I'm your host, Shane. To my right is Style.
Hey guys, how are you?
On the board is Jules.
Howdy.
Hey everyone. I forgot to do my part. Style was fixing some stuff.
Yeah,
so I was
I
like,
also left the studio door open.
I was like, I'll come in. I'll take care of it. But now that I'm here. Actually, wait. Now that I have the floor. Sorry that I was gone last week, guys. Hey everyone.
You were gone last week?
I missed you all. I mean,
How's the gout?
it's still
Flaring
in.
up
Let me
again?
tell you, it's
You
in.
got to get that guy
The
out.
gout
brother.
is in season. And it's been
Oh,
flaring.
not the season of the gout.
Yeah. You've heard of the season of the witch? This is the season of the gout. And I have it.
Donovan could never.
Donovan Gout.
Yeah, Donovan Gout, inventor of gout. I don't know why he made it.
Donovan J. Gout.
Yeah, wish he wouldn't have invented it. Kind of like Mark Q Cancer. Don't know why he did that. That's kind of a shitty invention.
Yeah. Some people got a profit, It's like a John J. Machine Gun.
It's like John J. Jingleheimer Schmidt. You're not going to believe this.
That's my name too.
No shit.
Yeah.
216-859-8699 if that's your name too. We're live on a Monday right here on WSRR Radio, saving the underground music scene. You can listen to us anywhere you go with the LIVE365 app on your smart device or in your car stereo. You can go to us-radio.com or, of course, WSRRradio.com, and we're brought to you by Synergy Music Studio out of Chicago. If you need recording, mixing, mastering, production work, or even reamping services, Synergy Music Studio is the place to go. It's a local music by local artists for local artists. SynergyMusicStudio.com gives you their full lexicon of work, even if you're not in the Chicago area, so make sure you check them out. March Madness is underway, so thank you to anyone who signed up for the Behind Enemy Lines and Generic Clothes tournament. We'll touch on that a little bit later, but if you want more and further insight as to how you're doing or who's in the lead, you're going to want to tune in to Behind Enemy Lines weekday mornings at 10 a.m. And if you're trying to get into the DMV, we got the hookup for you.
I was just thinking about this really quick.
Yeah. It's having nothing to do with this, is it?
Local diapers for local poop.
This is the piss store, buddy.
I'm just riffing. What do you
Look
guys
around.
think?
It's throwing out some ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. It seems like like local diapers or local diapers for local poop.
Can we do shit for like local shit, like shit that's happening?
Local shit for local diapers.
We'll workshop it.
All right.
216-859-8699 if you have any ideas for local diapers.
Yeah.
Let us know. But if you're trying to get in the DMV, have you ever used a DMV Easy Pass?
Yeah. It's like when you go to the amusement park and you can pay to jump right to the front of the line.
Yeah, and it creates a separate line.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like a fast pass. I've used them before.
So these guys in, I believe, Florida?
It says Miami.
Miami? Yeah, Miami, Florida. These guys in Florida were caught selling fake Easy Passes, essentially, for the DMV. So for $250, you could buy this fake DMV appointment through them. Which,
and I wonder if
How
it was
does
like
that work?
I'm trying to visualize. Is it like literally a physical pass that
I'm assuming, right?
that they gave them? You know what I'm saying?
You'd have to get something out of it.
And then also, furthermore, is it a situation where like these people are just sitting outside of the DMV, like, "Hey man, you need an Easy Pass"? Like that's weird. That's not.
It's
that's
one
what
of two
I'm thinking.
things.
They bought it out of somebody's back of their car.
Yeah, right.
I got two trains of thought here, and one is these guys are standing in front of the DMV with a stack of passes they printed up at Costco.
Yeah,
and are like, "Hey man, $250 can go right to the front of the line." Handing
get you
them
right
out
to the front.
people.
No wait.
Yeah, like literal scalpers at a game. Right.
My
My other thought is like they're in a Facebook group or something for their local township, and they're like, "Guys, the DMV is slammed today, but I got these Easy Passes.
Yeah.
Just DM me your Venmo."
Yeah, that's also I could also see that being the case.
Is it illegal?
Yeah,
Are they, hang on.
100%.
Also, this isn't even scalping. I don't like that term.
110% is illegal.
This isn't
This is
scalping.
scalping.
Well,
It's not a
actually-
real ticket. So no, it's not
actually,
scalping.
I don't know if it's illegal. Because here, I'm thinking about the full situation front to back. There's a person sitting outside of the DMV, say, or even the other train of thought.
Yeah.
You buy it off of some dude from Facebook,
Yeah.
and then maybe it's just like a screenshot on your phone. Whether it's
Sure. Okay, yeah.
whether it's a screenshot on your phone that looks official but is just photoshopped, or if it's like a physical pass that some rando dude hands you out of the back of his trunk in the DMV parking lot.
Yeah.
I think you get up to the front of the line. They're like, "What the fuck? No, like that's not us. We
Yeah,
don't take
right.
that. You know, like
That's the other DMV.
right, that's the
That's
other
the band you're looking
yeah,
for.
yeah. You gotta wait like the rest of them, bub.
I love when Wolverine works the DMV.
Dude, he's
You
taking
have
his 9
something
to
to do.
5,
Yeah.
you know. But I just don't think that the cops necessarily can do anything if they're called, because then that person who got scammed, say, you go to hypothetical land,
Sure.
calls the cops, says, "Hey, blah blah blah, just sold me this, blah blah blah. Come here now, come help me." The cops come, they talk to the people. It's a legal transaction, you know, like it's as illegal as someone selling CDs out of their trunk, which isn't illegal, I don't think.
Buddy, that is illegal.
Is it?
You wouldn't download a lobster. Come on. Now, I think if anything, this falls under like scam law of like how far you can get away before something's considered a scam, maybe. Because
That's
my only
interesting.
hang up is they're advertising the DMV, which is a company they don't work for.
Yeah,
It's
right.
a government entity. So like that's my only hang up is like they're selling you something for a place they don't work or have the right to
Right.
do so for. Because I could do the same thing for Walmart. I could sell you a Walmart Easy Pass and you could jump the line. And like the only part of that makes it illegal is you're going to go into Walmart and try and use it.
I think it becomes illegal if the DMV finds out and takes action against these
Pretty
people.
sure that's what happened. Pretty sure that's why we're talking about it is because the DMV had people coming in going, we don't have an Easy Pass.
Yeah, and I mean that's also kind of like step 1, step 2. Like step 1, they buy the tickets. Step 2, you go to jail because they told the DMV that they bought tickets from
Right.
you specifically, and now they're looking for you because you sold them faulty shit, and the DMV is pissed at you. Like,
How often are you going to the DMV that you need an Easy Pass?
yeah.
How quick do you need to be out of the DMV that you're willing to pay $250 additional dollars?
Well, we were talking about it before we got on. I've never had like a bad wait at the DMV. I've never had
I have
like
great times at the DMV, actually.
I have a fantastic. It's so much fun at the
Great
DMV.
All my
Nice
buddies
sleep.
are there.
We just
Me
hang
and the
out.
gang get together and go to
Come
the
on, let's go to
DMV.
DMV. No, like I've never had the like what you see in like the TVs or
Yeah.
movie as like a stereotypical DMV wait, and it's just like sludging through time. I've never had that experience. So like I wouldn't feel the need to buy an Easy Pass. I don't think.
To be fair, we don't have a DMV in Ohio. We have a BMV,
Yeah. What's the difference though?
Department and Bureau. That's the difference.
All right.
There's literal no difference.
get your
It's just what Ohio wanted.
bureaucracy out of my democracy.
There's like 3 states that have BMVs and the rest are DMVs.
That's weird.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't-
it's stupid.
I knew that we had a BMV, but I didn't know why, and I didn't know what the difference was. So,
Maybe like state versus federal, where it's funded from. Possibly.
Interesting.
I don't know.
very weird.
I don't do my lore research in the
Yeah,
DMV,
yeah.
BMV,
not
unfortunately.
very cultured in the lore. That's okay.
But
Neither
like,
am I.
so last week I went to the DMV, right?
Mhm.
BMV. Last week I went to and that's the thing. People in Ohio still say DMV.
Yeah,
so
I feel like I still
Yeah.
call it DMV from time
Yeah.
to time, and I guess that's because probably what a lot of other states call
Yeah,
it. So
that's what it is.
whatever.
I went to the DMV last week. I bought a new
Yeah.
truck and I had to have my plates swapped because
Right.
my title finally came in. And just for that, I did a plate swap and a registration. It was $79. I could not imagine, even if it was slammed, which it was pretty busy, even if it was
Sure.
slammed, I couldn't imagine be like, yeah, extra $250 is worth me getting in there.
That's kind of That was I
Yeah.
was gonna go into that. It's like maybe $50,
Right.
maybe. If
yeah.
I'm really like feeling it for whatever.
If I
reason.
got off work at 5 and they close at 6.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, right. Like if there's a specific situation, I might pay $50 to jump ahead, but $250? What the fuck? It's got to
Yeah.
be real. And that's one of those things too where you don't know how busy it's going to be there until you show up, right? Like most
Yeah.
of the time, unless you book online, because you can.
Yeah,
can,
you can.
you can schedule ahead online at the BMV.
It's one of those things where
You
I
can
feel
join the
like,
queue online.
Yeah.
I feel like most people by now should understand this. Like, unless you're 18 and just got your license and are
Right.
going for the first time for something, I feel like most people understand the BMV is a place you're gonna wait. So you typically don't go at like Saturday at 5 because
Yeah,
everyone's
right.
going to be there Saturday at 5.
Right.
You'll go before work, or like if you have a day off, go
Do
to the
it,
BMV.
do it at a smart time when it's not going to be as busy.
It's like going to the movies, right? You
Yeah.
know, if something comes out at 10 p.m. on a Saturday, it's gonna be packed at 10 p.m. on a Saturday.
Right. Pick a smart time
Yeah.
when it's not going to be
Pick a
as busy.
Monday morning matinee and
Right.
go.
Right.
I don't understand any logic here. Paying $250 additional dollars to skip a line. This cartoonish wait at the DMV that I've never experienced.
Right. I've never.
Genuinely, if you've ever had this bad of an experience that you see in TV or movies of like you get there and it's a 2-hour wait and everyone's rude and you get up there and you don't have your paperwork and you have to come back, and if you've ever had any experience like that, 216-859-8699, because I've never met anyone that's had that bad of a time at the DMV.
Right. It always seems like that's just a TV or movie thing, and I feel like I'm leaning more towards this as like an online scam, because again, you have to get there, see how packed it is,
Right.
and then make that decision to buy the Easy Pass. If that's the route which just seems very unrealistic. It seems like the DMV would be like, there are these weird people standing outside of our building, like handing our customers.
That's fair, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like there would come a point where some shit would.
At the
they
very
would get
least, they'd
involved.
walk outside and go, "What are you doing here?
Yeah, right.
Why don't you have a seat?
Why do you have a seat? Why don't you get your license?
What are these 13-year-olds with you?"
Why don't you get these license? Why don't you get your license renewed? Yeah, yeah. I just feel like this has to be an online thing because there's no way, and that would make more sense. That'd make it easier to like just Venmo me, like you said, just Venmo me $250, and I'll send you this fake certificate that lets you quote unquote, jump to the front of the line.
But
You've
still,
gotta know that's not a
why are
thing.
you spending over $200 on nothing more than to
A
skip
trip.
the line?
Yeah, right.
And
One
how
trip.
often are you going to the DMV? Really?
Yeah, right. Because I think this is like an Easy Pass, but it's like at least I would have to assume it's a one-time use.
Yeah,
thing.
that's what
at
it
least
seems like
that's
from
what
the
it's
article.
advertised as. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
ridiculous.
Today, you can go right up to the desk and do your work.
Right. Which is still that's ridiculous. Like,
Are you in that much of a rush?
and you know what though? Here's the thing: we've only ever gone to DMVs in like small suburbs and shit like that. Maybe because this is in Miami. Maybe it is like a 2-hour wait at the DMV.
That was my next point I was going to bring up, is like, because I've been to a few different DMVs.
That's possible.
And none of them have been particularly big, but at the very least, I'd say there's probably 4 desks open at any
Right.
DMV I've gone to where they're
Right.
going through people.
Right.
But I've never, like, and even this past week when I went, like, it was pretty filled up. All the seats were filled, but I was
Sure.
in and out in 25 minutes.
Yeah, not a hassle.
Because how long does it really take? What are the services you're getting? You're going to take a test. You're going to take a driving test. You're going to take your license photo. You're going to get your license renewed.
Yeah.
You're going to get plates renewed, or you're
Right.
going to get them swapped.
Right.
That's it. Like, none of this is time-consuming work.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like, and again, it makes more sense in a bigger city. I haven't ever been to a DMV in Miami, or I imagine
think we
like,
should. Let's take a trip to
Do
the
it.
big. Let's go to Chicago and visit Synergy, and while we're there, we'll just stop at a few DMVs.
do a show from a DMV.
Yeah.
We're waiting in line for a DMV. The wait said 2 hours, so we figured we'd do a show.
That's the other thing, right? Like, DMVs are always, and maybe it is just because it is really a minor inconvenience, and that's the fun play, is like make it super, super irritating in TV and movies, because it is real. In reality, it's a minor inconvenience to go to the DMV on a day off.
Maybe.
But like, I've never been to a DMV where everything is like super boring and professional and still and mean. They're always
Yeah.
depicted as mean.
Yeah, they're not mean.
These
they're
old
just normal
ladies are
people.
loving to talk to you.
Right. It just seems like normal people doing a
Yeah.
desk job or something
Yeah.
like that, or they're working at a computer job or something like that. and
It's
they
like
have to talk to
talking
you.
to the teller at the bank.
Yeah, right. It doesn't seem like the people. Yeah, because they depict the people as like,
Yeah.
hate their job. Yeah, I wonder why it's like that.
I
And
think-
again, maybe bigger cities, that's just the norm.
I think as an adult, it's had the opposite effect on me. Like, I think maybe the previous generation, it had
Mhm.
the effect of what they wanted of, God, I hate the DMV. It's the worst place in the world. I'm going to be waiting for hours. This sucks.
Mhm.
And you're super irritated because that place sucks. I think it's had the opposite effect on me, where like, I'm going in there, I'm like, damn, these people's jobs probably fucking suck. Dealing with everyone who's always annoyed all
Yeah,
day and doesn't
right.
want to be here.
People who don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
They need something for their car, but they don't know what.
So
Yeah.
like, I genuinely try not to be annoyed at the DMV, but
Right.
216-859-8699. Let me know if you need your plates renewed.
Hi, this is Melissa,
And hey, it's Matt.
coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
We are a recording and production studio located on the south side near Chicago.
Check us out online at synergymusicstudio.com. We offer recording, mixing, and mastering.
And follow us on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
If LimeWire taught us anything, your digital music is free and open to piracy, and even manipulation when it comes to digital distribution. So why settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet? Make your release something special with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants and works with local artists to get their next release pressed exactly to their liking. So check out Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl pressing plant today by visiting hellbendervinyl.com to get started. And don't forget, all customers at Hellbender Vinyl get 5 free test presses at no additional charge. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
Are you ready, kids? It's me, distinctively non-copyright, unspecified Sponge Man, and you're listening to the Rebel Radio Show on WSRR. Make the switch.
Welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show. As I mentioned in the starts, we are in March. We are deep into March, and I heard Lucas and Dom talk about it the other day. March Madness is kind of redundant at this point because it starts in the middle of March and it finishes in April. Like,
Yeah.
it's not really March Madness.
It's halfway through March Madness.
It's like the start of Spring Madness.
Yeah. Beginning early spring madness.
But if you tell people I got the Spring Madness, then they're probably not going to think basketball.
Yeah.
They're probably going to call the police.
People usually run from me when I say that.
I got
spring madness, brother. I do the finger,
yeah,
do the
you
macho
whole
fingers.
Macho man. But that said, we are sponsored by genericlothes.com.
Yeah.
So if you need a shirt that says shirts or local sports team or political statement, or don't do that, go to genericlothes.com and have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense because no one cares about the details. Get to the point. Once again, that's genericlothes.com. Supporters of local independent music and WSRR Radio. One thing I'm proud that we're not sponsored by, or haven't been, and I guess we're going to lose the opportunity here soon, is 23andMe, the DNA testing lab.
Yeah. I don't want to be sponsored by sperm people. They're not sperm people.
They're
spit-
people.
they're
sperm. We're all sperm people. Shane.
I guess we are all
Let me
sperm
let you know a
people.
little secret. Everyone you've ever met is a sperm person.
Whoa. Am I surrounded by sperm right now?
Oh, dude, you're in a room full of it.
Holy shit.
Biggest sperm you've ever seen.
No, they do spit. 23andMe does spit, right?
Yeah.
They all do. Don't
They all
in a
spit?
tube.
Yeah, like Ancestry.com and shit like that. They spit.
I'm imagining I walk in,
You spit into a tube.
you walk into the 23andMe HQ, and the lady behind the desk is just, what do you want?
Spit into a cup.
They're spitting.
Yeah. Oh, they're
Yeah,
spitting.
they're spitting.
They spit at you.
They got spittoons all around the office. Just collecting.
23andMe is filing for bankruptcy.
Yes. Yes, they are.
So on Sunday, they filed for bankruptcy, which I also feel like I've seen companies file for bankruptcy before and bounce back.
Red Lobster.
Yeah. So maybe this isn't the end for 23andMe. And there are also still companies, like I mentioned, it like Ancestry and stuff like that, who it's the same concept.
Which is definitely the bigger one. Ancestry.com
I
is
think it
definitely
is.
the bigger
Yeah.
company than
I
23.
think so. But 23andMe has always been in kind of like deep water because the CEO of 23andMe is or was married to the co-founder of Google.
Oh, really?
Oh, maybe that's why they're going bankrupt, because the Google dispute is reaching new levels where they're saying they have to bust up the search engine from Android.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I was going to bring that and I forgot. So
Yeah, because the Google is kind of everywhere and it has its fingers in everything.
it's being sued for monopoly right now.
Yeah.
Not the
So-
board game.
Damn it.
Imagine being the head brain of 23andMe going home to your Google
Brain
wife.
ass. Sorry.
So the company's shares fell 50% to 88 cents on Monday. And I think that this is just one of those things where it has been slow, like it's not as popular as it used to be.
Oh,
and like
yeah.
you said, there are companies like Ancestry and stuff that do it better, and so its stock price has just slowly been falling, and it's because it's not as popular. People aren't using it as much.
Well, I feel like the people that were going to use it have already used it.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what my point was about to be. I'm assuming an American-based company.
I would assume
Yeah.
What's the population of America?
in the billions, millions.
Unsure.
Probably low billions, right? Okay, 340.1 million. Okay, so 340 million people in America 2024 census, right? You think maybe half of those are cool with doing a background check, if we're being generous, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 170, somewhere around there, 170 million people.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to think if one person gets a family history, that covers the rest of their family. They don't need it. So the average family, if you're saying 5 people, divide that by 5. So like you're instantly...
Right. I think it does that. I don't think it does that as quickly where like one person can get the DNA for a whole family. I think it's like, at least in my brain, in my headcanon.
Like if mom and dad get it, then I would know that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So
yes.
if they got 23andMe and you can get like a 2-test pack, so that would be a 1 purchase deal.
Right.
They can understand their ancestry, and their ancestry would
Like
then
they
be
don't
mine.
essentially don't have to do it. But I don't think that necessarily covers like an uncle or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I think their ancestral tree isn't necessarily completely filled out because
Grandma and Grandpa didn't take the test.
Right. Or Uncle John and Aunt whatever took the test. That I don't think that necessarily means that your family tree is filled out. I think there's like levels to it, but just a quick little bit from this article from Reuters. In 2023, hackers exposed the personal data of nearly 7 million 23andMe customers over a 5-month period, dealing a major blow to the company's reputation and compounding its growth problems. The breach raised alarm among customers, concerns about their privacy, and how DNA testing firms handle their data. And so this kind of leads into the other thing that I wanted to bring up, which was like, from what I was reading in comments, and like the only other conclusion that I can come to is like people are probably concerned about their DNA being sold essentially to another company. Yeah. And what's 100%. What's that company going to, like, what are the agreements that company's going to sign off on to have the rights to my DNA or whatever? Sure. Because like I've never done this, so it's not necessarily a personal thing, but
I've done it for you though. So
okay.
You know, I've swabbed you a few times and just to make sure I know who you are.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I don't have the resources for like a good background check, but
no, that's good enough. I feel like that covers most bases.
Yeah.
But like,
by the way, don't trust your Uncle Mark.
Oh, okay.
Did not show up on your family tree at all.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. I'll keep an eye out for him. But like if I did have a stake in the game, I'd kind of be like, damn, I wonder if my spit is gonna get sold to fucking BlackRock or some big company that,
or some lab,
and what are they gonna do
Dippin'
with
Dots?
It? Right. What is fucking Dippin' Dots gonna do with my spit?
Right. You know, if I had a stake on the grill, I would say that.
Yum. I'd say yum.
I'd say medium rare, please.
I'd start floating like a cartoon character by my nostrils.
I'd say that better be propane. No, that's so 2 big reasons I've never done like an ancestry thing. Mm-hmm. Number 1, I don't really care. I know there's a lot of people that do it for like medical reasons.
Sure.
I also don't want to know that.
Yeah.
Like that is stress that I don't need. I'm stressed about enough.
I don't need all the information about the blood in my body.
I don't need my history of heart disease broken down on a chart for me. Don't need that. Don't care. Don't really care about anyone outside of my family that I don't know anyway. Like I have tons of family I know of that I've never met, and they're not in my life. So I really don't care where they come from.
Right.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is regardless if they get breached or sold or they go under like they are now, I don't want to send off more of my personal information. They have so much of mine. Anyway.
Yeah, it almost makes me, like, it almost puts a bad taste in my mouth. Because, yeah, you're right.
That's the swab.
All of these companies... there are a lot of companies that already do have a lot of information about us, and willingly doing something like this is just handing them over more information hand and fist. But I think, like, where does this put other companies that do this, like Ancestry and stuff like that? Like, how does this make you feel about doing the ancestry swap.
I
know what I'm saying?
won't
Yeah.
do one, honestly.
I don't think it necessarily makes me want to do that anymore because this almost brings to light the concept of like, if I give them my literal DNA, like the
Yeah.
information that makes up me, and they get sold to a different company or they go under, what's going to happen with that information of mine, you know?
I think it's the big misconception of people who think they're being safe about their personal information are often the ones that don't know how public your personal information is.
Right.
Like using a VPN is great because, again, your personal information is everywhere. Yours, mine. If you're
Right.
listening to this right now, I guarantee you someone can go online and find your name, your birthday, where you live, probably your credit card information, your email too. It's very accessible, especially if you're willing to pay a little bit of money. And I mean a little bit of money, $5-10.
Right.
It's very accessible. You are very accessible. And the more you're in the public eye, the more accessible it is. So why would I then go out to more extent to give you more information?
Right.
Like you could probably find some of my medical records. You probably could.
Sure.
If you were doing enough research.
Yeah, I think about that. Like, if someone sent the private eye on me, how
Yeah.
much could they get? Probably a good amount.
Right.
It's probably not hard to find a decent amount of information on anybody if that's your specific field of
Right.
whatever.
Well, especially like us, where we put ourselves in the media, we put
Right.
ourselves in public eye.
Right.
So it's so much easier than Joe Schmo down the street who has a flip phone, a Windows XP, right?
Right.
But everybody's accessible. So why would I go out of my way to be like, yeah, by the way, here's my blood type and here's everybody I'm related to.
Yes.
And now
Right.
I know the what I'm being told is you can have my spits and I'll get back a full extensive family tree. But where else is that information being stored?
It's being stored with them.
Right.
And now they have, and that's what I think about too. It's like companies like 23andMe and Ancestry probably have like a really big web of people who are related.
yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
they probably, if they're keeping a file of everybody's personal info and seeing who it connects to, they're probably realizing that there are a lot of different connections like going a lot. So it's probably just like less likely is it multiple different linears of families, but more one big web of
I was
people.
gonna say the more people, the less work they really have to do on their end. They
Right,
can just pull
right.
from and use.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think about this all the time. There's the story about Target being sued. The dad found out that targeted advertising, Target, the company, was sending baby information, deals on baby formula and cribs and
Yeah.
stuff to this house where the guy and his daughter lived. And he went and yelled at Target, well, why are you sending us, targeted advertising to my daughter's name for baby stuff? And
Right.
his teenage daughter was pregnant and hadn't told the dad yet, but through social media they found out and
Right.
were sending her targeted advertising.
Right.
That's the same way this works. I just talked about the fact I bought a truck the other day, and I've
Mhm.
never had this happen. Pre-owned truck, small lot, wasn't a dealer,
Right.
paid in cash.
Right.
And 2 days later, I got a letter in the mail from SiriusXM. This is, hey, we saw you just bought a truck, have 3 months trial. How?
Weird.
How do you know that?
Weird. So weird.
Because they can access who bought what on the vehicle registry.
Right.
216-859-8699. Send us some personal information.
What's the difference between the shirt you're currently wearing and the one that I am? Well, both do their job of concealing us from the outside world and social boundaries. But one little black swoosh makes yours cost nearly double. That red rectangle may not change how warm you are, but it certainly changes the price tag. The truth is, nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense with shirts that simply say sports team, political statement, music band, and more. A shirt for any occasion and the perfect gift. GenericClothes.com.
This is Preston Hardin, creator of True Vault Escapades, a show combining my love for the Fallout games and old-time radio of days gone by. If you're looking for a classic detective show set in the retro-futuristic post-apocalyptic wasteland, this is definitely for you. You can find us on any podcatcher like Apple or Spotify, and hear it exclusively here on WSRR Radio every weeknight at 10 p.m. Tune in today and prepare for the future.
Attention, have you or your family members been affected by ESPN and their boring hot takes or their repetitive programming? If so, you are not entitled to compensation, but you may be entitled to join WSRR Radio at 10 a.m. on Mondays to hear new episodes of Cleveland's newest sports talk show, Behind Enemy Lines.
The Rebel Radio Show is live at 5.
Stop saying Daryl the Wild Man Show as if it was like a show that was on it. Well, that's not a thing.
Every Monday on WSRR Radio.
Wow.
Oh my.
Those are words I say when I open my Hellbender Vinyl custom pressed vinyl records, and you will too. HellbenderVinyl.com is Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl record pressing plant, and they work with local and independent artists to make sure your next release is something special, not just a bunch of ones and zeros floating around online. That's right, custom vinyl pressed exactly to the artist's liking with 5 free test presses to make sure it's exactly how you want. They're hellbent on service, hellbent on quality. HellbenderVinyl.com, proud supporter of WSRR Radio and local and independent artists. Shane, I hear you've been digging up bones recently.
Wait, really quick, I want to try the Hellbender thing.
Do it.
Custom record vinyl pressing plant. Custom record vinyl pressing plant. Custom record custom
vinyl record pressing plant.
Custom vinyl record pressing plant. Custom vinyl record pressing plant. Custom vinyl record pressing plant. What do you guys think?
I've been working on something.
Yeah.
Local diapers.
Oh, for local shit. I like that. Yeah.
WSR Radio.
You could go.
It's our new tagline.
You can go somewhere with
Forget
that.
the star.
Yeah.
Local diapers for local
shit. That's the word.
Yeah. Small text under it. We don't sell diapers.
We could though. Check the new shop.
216-859-8699. Let me know if you'd buy a Rebel diaper.
WSRRradio.com.
It's like the pit
Go
diaper.
to the shop.
No pit diapers. Fuck liquid death. Tell me about these. Going back to New Jersey, because every major news story we talk about happens in New Jersey.
Listen, that's where the people go. All right.
That's where the pasta goes. I know that.
That's where the pasta goes. That's where everything happens. The people are there. The lights are shining.
Is New Jersey where the college found the buried fucking building? We talked about a buried building on a college campus that they didn't know was there.
The archaeology team dug up the building because they found they found papers saying that there was a building there. There used to be, and there was just like a hill there. I remember
Was that also New Jersey?
That might have been.
I think they find everything there.
New Jersey, I'm telling you, it's the land of wonder. It's the land of mystique.
You know, we were supposed to talk about
and Wolverine.
It's true. What?
And Nightcrawler.
Wolverine's Canadian.
Mystique.
This guy, Marvel expert Shane E, comes in here and tells me Wolverine's from New Jersey.
Jubilee.
All of them are going to hate you.
Professor X.
All the Marvel heads.
The X-Men.
In the comments.
The X-Men and women of the Xavier Institute. All right.
I have no idea where I'm going with this anymore. They found fossils in New Jersey, and they shipped them with USPS, and they ended up throwing them in a landfill.
I think that it's very fascinating to me that they shipped them via USPS. That doesn't make any sense to me. You would think that if these are legitimately 380 million years old, they would have a special delivery.
What do you ship them with?
And also, who is shipping these? Who did the dinosaurs ship them?
Yes, 380 million year old fossil is dumped in a landfill after New Jersey College didn't pay the UPS bill.
So the professor filed the lawsuit against the university after claiming the school's negligence led to the fossils ending up in a landfill. Oh, and the landfill isn't even in New Jersey. The landfill is in Tennessee. It's in Nashville, baby.
Wow.
So how did the fuck UPS? Fuck you, UPS. I really hate UPS, man. They always fuck up our fucking orders.
So they found it was 19 separate boxes weighing 20 to 60 pounds each.
That's a lot of fossils.
And
again, are these just in tan UPS shipping boxes with packing peanuts?
Loose.
What the fuck?
Shaking around.
I mean, okay, no.
Shipping
those bitches. No.
If it fits, it ships, baby.
That's the UPS way.
So
Isn't that a FedEx fucking?
I don't know. I have no idea.
The professor was bugging the shipping people, like UPS, I believe.
Yeah.
And they said,
If it fits, it ships is UPS. Sorry.
they're like, it's shipping. Hold on, just wait for
Yeah.
it. And then they said that the fossil packages were possibly being held by the UPS fraud department.
The fraud department was like, "Oh, let's make some dinosaurs."
It's that these ain't fossils.
Then when they contacted UPS directly,
Mhm.
they said that the packages were intercepted because WPU, the university, failed to pay the outstanding invoices. As a result, the university's account had been canceled, and the packages were dumped in the landfill.
Why
thrown in the
wouldn't you
garbage.
return them to where they came from?
Oh, whoa. Okay, that's very interesting. So, like, the professor's ordering these off of the college's dime,
Off Amazon.
off of Amazon.
Yeah, went on Amazon, looked up fossils.
But like,
Old ones.
the professor's telling the university, "Hey, order this shit."
Yeah,
They say, "Okay, we did." They don't pay for it. They just order it and don't pay for it.
yeah.
They throw it in the landfill. UPS throws it in the landfill because the university didn't pay. The professor turns around and is like, "What the fuck, guys?"
Basically, yeah.
So the professor's suing the university, right?
I'm not
Yes,
sure.
I think that's yeah.
Is that the
Yeah. He's
A
suing the
professor
university
a
because
professor
he
filed a lawsuit against the New Jersey University.
because
Okay,
he
good.
ordered the fossils and they never paid. And
Right.
so they got disposed of. Several fucking issues with this story. Your point initially of why are we just shipping things through UPS?
There needs to be like a special. UPS doesn't seem like the route. They're just gonna dump it in a landfill.
Yeah,
apparently.
why? Second issue, why is UPS just throwing things away?
Yeah, that doesn't seem like that's their
not,
place.
That's not a UPS decision.
Right. Sorry, we threw away your packages.
Okay, so
Never heard of return to sender?
Yeah, what?
these fossils were the university's property. Beckner, or I believe maybe his own he had planned to collaborate with a colleague on a comprehensive fossil collection.
So they had the bones at the university, but this professor was just sending those specific ones to be
somebody
displayed.
else in Florida.
Okay.
And along the way they got tossed in
Damn.
Tennessee.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, the
Damn.
professor paid for the bones to add to his private collection, let's
Mm-hmm.
say. Professor paid the university. The university agreed to ship the bones to the professor's place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the school did not pay USPS to actually ship them. So obviously the professor never got his bones that he had already paid for.
Yes.
Interesting.
I
Definitely the
see.
school's fault. Also UPS's fault.
I
They should
see.
be held at fault. Because again, why are you just throwing things away?
Yeah.
That's not how the mail works. That's mail fraud.
That's really strange. That's really strange that the professor. I wonder if the professor reached out to the university and was like, "Hey, these bones are taking a while. Like, what's going on?" And I wonder if the university checked on it or
yeah, it's gonna take a lot longer, buddy.
Did
They ain't coming.
did
Thanks
the
for the check,
university
asshole.
have a tracking number and just not send it to the professor?
Another part I can't get over is, was it like a bad balance on a credit card or did a check bounce? Because how does it ship without being paid for? So they had to have taken the money and then realized the money wasn't there.
So this is I do part of this for my job.
Ship bones.
I ship bones professionally. But
You're a body broker.
sometimes the bone distributing companies will buy credits essentially with these shipping companies.
That should be illegal.
It's interesting because they'll pay for X amount of credits and then you can ship so much stuff. But then if you they're usually set on auto repay, and if you don't fill that card, or if that card doesn't have money, or if whatever happens, sometimes it doesn't get paid, and so then your bones get stuck in a transit loop essentially.
But typically your bones come back to you.
Typically, no, actually. Typically,
They're holding on to the bones?
Typically,
Until they're a hostage situation with the bones until they're paid for?
either the bones get double shipped. They get shipped when they get paid for, and the ones that were lost get shipped. So the bone purchaser gets like 2 sets of bones,
Yeah.
or that first set of bones that's just stuck in transit is lost forever.
Stop purchasing bones.
I'm a bone distributor. Dude.
Yeah, he's a body broker. That's what he does.
I'm a body broker. But yeah, that's like it will just get like lost in UPS.
Not a fan.
And that's seriously like just what happens. It'll bounce from, like, I've seen the tracking numbers where it'll go from a UPS facility to a UPS facility to a different one to like a different state and then back in state. Like they just send it everywhere.
If I'm not mistaken, we talked about UPS at one point because they like illegally transport billions of dollars of drugs every year.
Oh, yeah.
That they don't know about.
Probably.
And then I know we talked about FedEx a couple of years ago shipping body parts and getting lost.
Yeah.
People finding body parts and shit.
Yeah.
We talked about that with Shaggy, I believe.
Yeah.
We talked about body parts just like being found in a dump because FedEx was supposed to ship them and did the same thing where they just threw away the packages. That needs to be illegal. I know like USPS, a mail, like piece of mail has to come back so many times or not have a return address, and then they hold it for a set period of time and then burn it.
Oh, see, that's interesting. And I wonder if companies like FedEx and UPS, if it is just protocol, if it's something where, because again, as the bone distributor, as the bone broker, on my end, it just looks like the tracking number is going from like one UPS facility or one FedEx facility to another. It's just bouncing around and never going anywhere, essentially. And so I wonder if on their end of things, they like threw it in the trash 2 weeks ago and just are saying that it's moving from quote unquote facility to facility.
I've had that happen. I've had it happen where I bought 2 T-shirts from WWE Shop, and they, first of all, very sketchy because I've bought things before and it just shows up either UPS or through USPS, and they sent it out through a company called Laser Ship, which I've never heard of in my life.
Interesting.
And so I got the tracking number and everything, and it was like supposed to be 2 days it'd be here, and I got the notification it was delivered, and it wasn't delivered. So I reached out to WWE, called Paul. He said, "Listen, Trips.
Hey, Trips,
my shirt's ain't here, buddy." And he said, he said, "Have you talked to Laser Ship?" But I reached out to him like, "Hey, my order didn't arrive." And the representative said, "Oh, well, sometimes they mark it as delivered when it's still in transit."
Yep.
And I said, "They shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because then it's not delivered and they're lying."
No.
And they said, "Well, give it a couple days, see if it shows up." So I give it a couple days and it doesn't show up. So I reach out again. I said, "It's been 5 days. I don't think this is coming. Can I get a refund?" Like, "Yeah, we can send you a refund or we can, expedite one out faster since we still have them in stock." "Sure, do that." So next day I open my door. Boom, there it is. Shirts. Like, cool. 1 day shipping. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Next day, I open my door. Boom, shirts.
Yep.
Lost in the mail. They sent me both of them.
Yep. So from my end of things, being the bone distributor, what happens there
You're not going to drop that ever, huh?
I'm the bone day.
I will not be calling you that. I know before we got on air today, you called me mommy, but I will not be referring to you as the bone daddy.
And by the way, when I said that, I meant MAMI.
No, you didn't.
Like a Rhea
Don't
Ripley
lie.
thing.
Don't
I
you?
did.
Don't
I
even
really
lie to
did.
me.
Truth.
That's not how it was taken.
Our truth.
It's not how it was taken.
Ron Killings. Swear, straight up.
So as the bone distributor.
My end of things is like, I talk to the bone distributing company.
Yeah.
I say,
Bones Inc.
"Hey, this bone purchaser said that they didn't receive their bone order. What's going on?" And they say, "Oh, we didn't pay for our bone. We didn't pay for our transit.
The bone fee, right?
We didn't pay the bone fee for the transit." And so I'm like, "Yo, you MFers, pay the effing bone fee so that my MFing customer can get their MFing bones." And they're like, "Okay, sorry." And then they
Those
get
corporate emails.
and it's straight up. And then they will get their new package sent like expeditiously. They send it quicker. But then because they know, like, because the shipping company, I think my personal headcanon is because the shipping company knows that this new package is getting sent to this facility, they just assume that that other package that was quote unquote in transit,
that's lost essentially,
right, is just going to the same place. So they send them both there. And so you get the same thing twice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, I do understand it,
It's
but
a really
I don't.
weird,
I don't like the term of, "Oh, this is lost," and then they give it to me 2 days later because it wasn't really lost. We're just
right. It's like they hold on to it in facility, or
Yeah.
like I think what happens is they just put it on different trucks.
Yeah, and send them around.
Send it around so that they have it, but it's still moving, and like the tracking number can show that something is going on. So it's not just like, it's stuck at this one place, and then like I think that they don't want the customer to go there and be like, "Hey, give me my effing package,"
which you should be able to do.
I know that you can call them and say, "Hey,
I want to pick it up.
I want to meet you on your route today."
Oh,
and you can meet them on their route.
I don't ever want to do that, actually.
No, I heard about that when I was buying and selling shoes. You could like call UPS and be like,
it's
"Hey,
gonna come up for you from shoes to bones, man."
Straight up. When I was a shoe distributor, it was different. You could call UPS. I actually don't even
Back
know
in the
if
days
you
you
could
could call
now.
UPS,
But you could call UPS and be like, "Hey, like I know that this is being shipped today. Can I meet the person on their route earlier so that I can get it? I'm gonna be out of the house or something like that."
I know we've talked about this before,
Mhm.
but I would love to buy my local mail route because you can buy any mail route.
Yeah, we have talked about that. You could just buy the mail route. You could
Yeah.
be the mail king.
Yeah, you can
Just
you
choose
can corner the
when-
market on who gets what when.
Choose when to distribute mail to
Yeah.
people, and if they spite you in any way, withhold their mail from them.
If your neighbor is really pissing you off, buy his mail route.
No mail.
Yeah, make sure he doesn't get his mail on time.
I get all of your bills.
You are not getting a single bill this month, buddy. Let me tell you that. You better shut your dog up.
And I'm not paying them. Yeah.
It makes me. This is the bad side of. I mean, this is all bad. This is the bad side of shipping corporately.
Yeah.
Because now Amazon is the king, right? Amazon's the king of
Yeah.
online purchases.
Right.
So you see the Amazon truck coming. You get tracking like day-to-day updates. You
Mhm.
get 2-day shipping with Amazon. You can overnight stuff,
Right.
and it's there because they're fucking everywhere, right?
Those facilities are so wild to me.
Yeah.
It's just a big warehouse that has everything you could ever want
Yep.
in it.
Yep.
That's so weird.
Yep. And there's just stock everywhere.
And there's like 20 of them in a 50-mile radius.
But we're so used to it.
Yeah.
That like you order something through eBay or something that gets shipped USPS or UPS or FedEx or God forbid DHL, and it instantly seems less credible. And things like this make me think it is.
The Amazon world has definitely fucked up the bone market.
I will say,
I get yelled at all the time
because you're not Amazon.
Because we're not as fast as Amazon. Yeah.
I will say, man, the second I buy something and I see it's coming DHL, I instantly hate it.
We don't ship DHL ever. Bone Company don't ship DHL ever. We do FedEx, UPS, USPS.
I've bought a few things that ship DHL, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait for this. I have aerosol spray paint coming in the mail, and I'm pretty sure it's through UPS, and UPS has already alerted me it's gonna be late.
Yeah.
I don't like UPS.
Yeah, UPS is, in my opinion, FedEx is probably the best, and then UPS, and then USPS. USPS and UPS are like a toss-up. Either one.
I'll
can
be honest.
good.
I prefer just USPS. I prefer just shipping it in the mail.
No, and that's what I'm saying.
Hasn't been good recently.
Like
either.
USPS can be better than any of them, but in my opinion, sometimes it can be like it can do the thing where it bounces.
I'll say this: anytime I've sold something or shipped to someone, I've never used anything but USPS.
Yeah, same.
I've never gone to a UPS and been like, I need this shipped. That seems like a very weird thing to me.
That's not true. When I sold shoes, I did that. I
Was
went
it
to USPS.
cheaper?
You would pay like, I think $10, $5, and they would ship it for you. And they would give you the boxes were like there. I think you paid for the box and they shipped it for you.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Interesting.
is how it worked.
The
Again,
only
that was a
time-
while ago.
The only time I've ever been to a UPS store is when I bought something on Amazon and it was through a private seller and I had to return it. So I couldn't return it through an Amazon return. I had to ship it back to that seller. So they gave me the receipt to take to a UPS and ship it.
Yeah, selling shoes like independently was very interesting because you're using like didn't sell it on eBay. I sold them on like third-party apps that people knew you could buy shoes on. And
Like
it was
shoesandbones.net.
Shoesandbones.net pretty much.
Yeah, it's a shame what happened to them.
No, I know they went under bankruptcy apparently. Bone-ruptcy.
Too many people buying shoes, not enough people buying bones is what it was.
Oh, the bones were the killer, really.
Yeah, they usually are.
But yeah, it was always like I remember I would buy shoes that would come from like out of country and they would get shipped from DHL.
Ooh, yeah.
Like from Europe
I
and
think
shit.
that's what mainly DHL is. I think it's like China and Europe.
International shipping. I think so too. But it's always very weird getting like the DHL tracking number and you're like, all right, this is going to be a weird shipping experience.
Yeah, this is going to be rough.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's a hole in the market. I think we need a true, reliable shipping company to rise up from the ashes and just abolish DHL, abolish FedEx, abolish UPS. We need a tried and true, red-blooded American shipping company to rise up. So going forward, the Rebel Radio Show will actually be a shipping department.
You need anything shipped to you. 216-859-8699. We will get it there.
Worldwide shipping.
It will be more expensive. Don't get me wrong.
Boat, car, plane boat, car, doesn't matter.
Turducken.
Doesn't matter. Bike, we'll get there.
Yeah.
WSRR worldwide shipping right here, right now.
Basically, what's gonna happen is you're gonna send us the item you want shipped to you, and we're gonna purchase it,
and
promise we're gonna also then purchase shipping for it.
Yes.
And just send it to your address, and we're also gonna charge you a service fee on our end.
Okay, this was my business strategy.
Yeah.
You ship us your items. And we pinky promise that we will ship them wherever you told us to ship them to.
Right. There will be a very long small print contract you have to sign.
We will send you a string of numbers that will be a tracking number.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You give us gift cards.
And then just don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Don't look into it. Just trust us. It's all a hope and faith-based shipping company. So just don't look into it after you send us. Yeah,
deal.
After you send us your item that you want shipped, don't think about it.
Yeah,
that's how easy it is. That's how easy it is at WSRR. It's easy for you to ship your items with us.
There are minor shipping companies.
Whoa, buddy.
But Epstein has to worry about that. 216-859. What a way to end it. 8699.
You think old Zode is still alive?
No, like I said when we did the thing, I think the cop who was on the scene and they're talking about now, I think he was the Zodiac killer. There's too much there.
That makes sense.
If you don't know what we're talking about, of course, you can go back and listen this past October when we talked about the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, buddy.
WSRRradio.com to get to our full lexicon of all of our show times, schedules, and more. Just like the Rebel Radio Show, we're live at 5 every Monday right here on WSRRradio.com or the LIVE365 app that pairs with your car stereo or any smart device to take us with you wherever you go. But we also have other shows like Shaney's Off Air.
Yes, that probably did not sound that good, actually.
I'm curious to hear how that sounded in the replay. That doesn't mean do it again. All right.
I feel like I'm not doing it that good.
Well, we also got the Pigeonhole with the Pidge.
All right.
We have True Vault Escapades that happens weekdays at 10 p.m. That's the Fallout-based radio drama from Preston to Hardin. Again, weeknights at 10, that is. And, of course, our Morning Drive block that has indie artist interviews, the Grab Bag music shows hosted by spontaneous and varying artists and hosts. And we also have Behind Enemy Lines, of course, 10 a.m. Eastern during that morning drive on WSRR Radio. I had to catch my breath there for a second. Of course,
so
we're
riveting.
brought to you.
It's very riveting.
By SynergyMusicStudio.com, GenericClothes.com, and Hellbender Vinyl out of Pittsburgh, PA. So make sure you check out all of them. We're supposed to be live on a simulcast as well on YouTube every Monday at 5 p.m., but apparently YouTube didn't want to play along today, so you're more than welcome to join us there.
Fuck you, YouTube. Well, we love you, YouTube.
Yeah, I was going to say, we already got kicked off Facebook.
Yeah.
Or join us on any of our social medias. You can get them all at rebelradio.com or WSRRadio.com, as well as the Discord server where you can chat with us about any of the show's topics or more. You can talk about celebrities faking their deaths or conspiracy theories or liminal spaces or Spider-Man or wrestling or anything under the sun. Again, Discord server, WSRRradio.com. Until next time, I've been Radio's Rebel DJ Styles. Am I right, Shaney?
Bye, everyone.
On the board's Jules.
Adios.
Peace.
So